Dr. Noriaki Kano, creator of the Kano model, has a way of describing customer satisfaction. What he does is he classifies them into categories. A particular category that I want to talk about, designated in the Kano model, is the basic needs or uh, must be quality of a product, meaning that a quality that meets its purpose will go basically unnoticed. Basically, if it's working, I don't notice it, I'm happy. Once it starts failing or once something shows up out of nowhere, I'm going to be very unhappy. When it's working, not particularly anything astounding. It's yeah, it should be working. That's what I wanted to do. Case in point, I want to talk about something, the American outlet. When it's working fine, it goes unnoticed. However, when it starts losing its springiness, it poses a big danger and also ultimately big customer dissatisfaction. So for this project, I want to tackle an everyday object, something that we encounter every day, something that we mess with, something that we can interact with, something that can be relatively simple, but I will suggest an improvement based on this certain problem that I face with American outlets. I'm sure we've all encountered an outlet that has lost that grip, in which case, whenever we apply some dynamical force, some dynamics, whether it's a wiggle, whether it's a tug, the outlet just gives and it doesn't have that springiness. Now, that's caused mainly from just wear and tear of the internal prongs. Looking at this outlet, you can see that the problem usually lies with the internals. Looking at the internals, here we can see that the problem will lie simply in here, or in here in these walls. Now, appliances that only have the two prong are very subject to these kind of issues. Outlets that have the ground pins from down here, can more suitably fit any of these American outlets. Well, this isn't a problem that's faced the people in Europe or people in Asia. Here in the United States, not much has been done about this. Back in the 50s, back in the old design, there used to be holes. Now, these holes haven't gone anywhere, but beforehand, these uh, holes in these prongs were used to address this problem. They were used to address the fact that yes, these outlets can become loose, but nonetheless, that old design has been changed, and nowadays we use uh, a different socket, one that made these holes obsolete. However, they're still in there. They're still being made. They haven't changed the process of making these plugs. However, when there is a loose connection, there poses a big danger for fire, big danger for shocks, and a case study that we'll look in a few minutes uh, that can lead to malicious or even just curious uh, dangers. It invites that. All right, without any further preamble, let me introduce my design for the improved solution. The product consists of a SIM base plate with two slits where the prongs of the plug can slide right through. Surrounding the prongs are a protective cuff that fits snugly against the prongs, ensuring they stay secure within the outlet. In this image, we see that there's these protective cuffs that surround the sides and the top of the prongs. We have a slim base plate, roughly around 3 millimeters, that will be attached directly to the plug that will be then inserted into the outlet. The base plate sits on the face of the plug. When the plug is inserted, the sheath that surrounds the prongs provide additional stability by gripping the top and sides of each prong. This eliminates the whole wiggle room that causes prongs to loosen over time. In addition, this sheath design that doesn't go all the way through still allows for a stable connection that will ensure that you get power to your product. To manufacture this product, we will use injection molding, as this material that we've chosen is a nice, recyclable, durable plastic, a common process for creating products from ABS. So what factors led me into designing this specific product for American household and industrial outlets? Well, the first reason is loose outlets, as we saw in the beginning, tend to have poor connections and have higher risk for shock or fire. Now, the case study that I was mentioning before involves a internet trend back in around 2020, where children on their social media platforms, specifically TikTok, uh, would go around and do this quote outlet challenge. What this presented is an outlet that had those prongs slightly in, still maintaining connection, but still having current going through them. What they would do is they would insert a metal coin, in this case, and essentially short out these prongs, causing severe damage to the outlet, severe damage to the building, and posing a huge risk for the individuals participating. Now, this design specifically addresses looseness, but also addresses that issue, preventing malicious intent or morbid curiosity. What makes my idea particularly useful and particularly better than any homemade solution? Well, the first solution that anyone could come up with is that if the outlets are loose, why not just make the prongs and just push them together and have this angled in prongs? Well, over time, these pins that were now straight are now experiencing these bending moments, these bending forces, are going to experience the same thing. They might fall off their own plug, or it's just going to wear out the outlet in a particularly different way. Another solution people do is literally tape the plug to the wall, whether that is wrap tape around the prong or wrap tape around the uh, plug itself and keep it to the wall. Another tactic people use is jerry-rigged or homemade shivs, where they would just put things around, not necessarily tape, but just another thing around the prongs and just call it a day. None of these address the solution perfectly. However, this one I think does. It provides insulation around the prongs as well as a nice snug fit. Overall, I believe my solution offers longevity and addresses a huge safety concern with loose outlets. My system remains easy to install, remains simple to understand, and provides great connection. So, to wrap this up, I believe that my ABS plastic product can provide a elegant solution to a problem that's faced by many households. I believe that this solution is elegant. I believe this solution provides stability for this problem.